Instead of thinking about what you're going to do with the rest of your life, think about what are your plans for right after graduation. Hello, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know in order to be prepared for life after college. P.S. It is raining right now, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can't. But I really want to film, so I'm just gonna have to push through. But that being said, I'm just gonna hop right into the video. I do want to introduce myself. I'm Karis. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I do videos on college, life in general, and I am a young adults life coach, so I help young adults figure out what they want to do with their life. So if you ever want to work with me, I have my website linked down below, so feel free to check that out. But without further ado, I'm just gonna hop right on to the first thing you need to know before you graduate college, and that is you need to figure out what you want to do with your life. Now, I know this is so daunting, because how are we really supposed to know what we want to do with our life at age 20, 21, 22? Like, that is so stressful. So I want to give you a different perspective to look at this so that it's not as overwhelming. So instead of thinking about what you're going to do with the rest of your life, think about what are your plans for right after graduation. What are your 2-year plan, not even 5 years plan, but for 2 years after graduation, what can you do? Where can you work? And where can you live? Don't overwhelm yourself and try to figure out what kind of career path do you need to find and stick to for the next 20 years. No, that is so stressful. You don't want to do that, because how are you supposed to know what you want to do for the next 20 years of your life? You're probably gonna change your mind and figure out you like some things and you don't like other things. And so don't overwhelm yourself by trying to come up with a 20-year plan. Just try to come up with a 2-year plan. Identify where you can live, and what kind of a job you can go and get right after graduation. That being said, the second thing you need to work on before graduating is work on your resume. You know, that thing your professors were talking about your freshman year of college, but you kind of ignored it. So yeah, that is kind of an important piece right now. You need to kind of think back at the things that you have done throughout your college life, and write it on a piece of paper and make it sound really good so that people will want to hire you. That's pretty much what a resume is. And hopefully you've done enough things to write about in a resume. Another thing you want to do is kind of identify a handful of adults that can write you a recommendation letter. Those are going to be very essential as you graduate and try to find a job. Most jobs are going to ask you for a recommendation letter or a recommendation phone number that they can contact. So try to identify some people that you can have in the back of your head so that they could write you a good recommendation letter. The third way to prepare for life after college is to start making connections. So what do I mean by that? So we have pretty much been in this little bubble we call college the past 3-4 years of our lives. And now we're supposed to go out into the real world. But if we have no connection to the real world, it's gonna be pretty hard to survive. And so throughout college, you need to start kind of working your way out of that bubble and connecting with people in the real world, adults, in the occupations and fields that you someday want to be in. You need to start connecting with others so that way you have more of an idea of what you want to do. And a lot of times when it comes to getting a job, it's not so much about what you do, it's more about who you know. So knowing the right person can really be beneficial in the long run. So start making connections, start networking with others, and start volunteering at different places, start shadowing different people. Just go out and connect. The fourth thing to keep in mind as you're preparing for life after college is finance. This is not very fun. Nobody wants to think about finance, but that's just the reality of life. Money is always going to either hold you back or push you towards being able to do things. So the first thing I recommend you to do is figure out how much you owe in student loans. I know while we're in college, we kind of forget that we are like consistently taking out loans so we can go to college. And as soon as we graduate, we're gonna be expected, you know, to make payments on those. So I would go ahead and kind of start looking at how much you owe so that you can kind of start figuring out like how you can make those payments after graduation. The second thing is try to figure out what your living expenses are going to be after graduation. Are your parents going to let you come back and live with them so that you can save money, or are you expected to go and, you know, find an apartment on your own and pay all the bills? Like, life is expensive, so you might want to have a better understanding of like what you're getting yourself into and how you can survive financially after college. Now, I just want you to know, like, I'm not telling you all of this to stress you out and freak you out. I just more so want you to kind of be prepared, because I think sometimes like college does a really good job of giving us a safe space that we kind of forget what it's going to be like out in the real world, and I just don't want you to be like shocked when you get out into the real world and find out it's a lot harder than the college life. So I just more so wanted to make this video so you can be a little bit prepared for the future. Now, all that being said, I do have one last tip for you, and this is really important, and so make sure you tune in. And that is, as you're trying to prepare for life after college, know that you don't have to have it all together. Like, everybody thinks they need to figure it out, and everybody feels like they're the only ones who don't have it all figured out, but that's not true. Seriously, you're not the only one who doesn't have it figured out. Trust me, most people don't know what they want to do with their life. Now, I know that's so much easier said than done, but seriously, freaking out and stressing out about the future is not going to do any good. It's just going to stress you out even more. So instead, try to just take some actionable steps now so that you can be prepared for the future. Try, if you're, you know, working a job while in college, try to save up so that after graduation you at least have saved up some money. Just do everything you can do now so that you can be prepared for after graduation. So don't feel super pressured to have it all figured out, and don't put too much stress on yourself. But yeah, I hope that was helpful and not like too discouraging or anything like that. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might also be a little stressed out right now. If you want to watch more videos like this in the future, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But that's all I got for you, and until next time, bye.